Paris and Stepney Borough Council shifts the focus of negligence in a subtle but crucial way. This case isn't about how dangerous an activity is. It's about who is exposed to the risk. Mr. Paris worked for the council in a garage workshop. Importantly, his employer knew that he was already blind in one eye. During his work, a small piece of metal flew into his remaining good eye. He lost his sight completely. The task itself wasn't unusually dangerous. Other workers performed the same job without special protection. But the consequences for this worker were very different. The employer had not provided protective goggles. The legal question was this: does reasonable care change depending on the person exposed to the risk? The court said yes. The key principle is foreseeability, but not just of harm, foreseeability of consequences. For an average worker, the risk of minor eye injury might be acceptable. But for someone with only one functioning eye, the same risk carries a far greater potential harm. The employer knew this. That knowledge mattered. The court held that reasonable care is not assessed in the abstract. It is assessed in context. Same task, same environment, different person, different duty. This case teaches an important lesson. Negligence is not one size fits all. Where a defendant knows that a claimant is especially vulnerable, the standard of care can rise. Not because the activity changes, but because the stakes change. So unlike Bolton and Stone, where the probability of harm was too low, Paris and Stepney focuses on the severity of harm if the risk materializes. Together, these cases show the balancing act at the heart of negligence law. How likely is the harm? How serious would it be? And what does reasonable care require in this situation? Paris and Stepney reminds us that the law does not ignore human vulnerability. Reasonable care is shaped by what the defendant knows and who is placed at risk. And that is why this case still matters today. This has been Case by Case.